This is to show you how to make a decorative ridge on the shell stitch, and this one is done with a front post cluster stitch. And you'll notice it has a more pronounced ridge. There's more texture in this one than in the previous front post with the single crochet. I'm going to, if you don't know how to make a shell stitch, I have a video that shows you how to do that. Now this is just a small sample of 3 shells. The first row was a single crochet shell row. When you turn it around, it was the half shell row. And when I turn it around again, I worked another single crochet shell row. And it's better if you change your colors after completing a single crochet shell row, not the half shell row. So I'm going to show you now how to add the color and make the stitch. I added the new color with a single crochet in the last single crochet of the previous row. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to chain 2, and then I did the front post cluster stitch, and I've completed that. So now I'll walk you through it. I'm going to have a chain 2 on each side of my cluster, and now I'm going into the single crochet the valley of the previous row. So I'm going to just do a normal single crochet, put my hook under the top 2 loops, do a yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through, so my single crochet is now completed. And I'm going to chain 2 more, and now I'm going to begin my front post cluster stitch. And this is a double crochet, so I'm going to do a yarn over. I'm going to go from the front to the back and go underneath the post of that first double crochet of the shell, do my yarn over, pull it around, do the yarn over, pull it through, and now I've made half a double crochet and I'm stopping. I'm going to leave these hooks, these loops on my hook, and I'm going to complete that now. Yarn over, go from the front to the back, pull that post forward, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through those 2 loops, and again, do not complete your double crochet. You're only doing a half of a double crochet. Yarn over, go around the post, pull it up, and do your half of your double crochet. And we're going to complete it. This shell has 5 double crochets on it, so I'm going to be doing 5 parts to my cluster stitch. And now once I have all the loops on the hook, pull them up so you have enough room to pull your yarn through. Do a yarn over and pull it through all of the loops on your hook and end it with a slip stitch. So now you've completed your cluster. And I'm going to chain 2, move down to my single crochet, do a simple single crochet, chain 2, and now I'm going to do my front post cluster stitch on this next shell. So again, I'm going to do the yarn over, wrap it around that post, pull it through so I complete a half of a double crochet, and I continue working across those shells. Now this one I have a 5 double crochet shell on the sample. However, on the piece that I'm working on, which I showed you in the beginning, it is a 7 post. It's a 7 double crochet shell, and it really makes it quite puffy and gives it a lot of body, but of course that's a much thinner yarn than the yarn I'm working with now. This is a regular Afghan type yarn. So I pull it up so I have enough room now to get through, grab that yarn, pull it through, do the slip stitch to lock that shell in place, chain 2, and go down to my end, single crochet and make a crochet. Whoops, there we go. And now this next row is going to be a half shell beginning row, because I'm going to start working my shells now again. So that's 3 for the for the double crochet, and because this is 5, half of it's going to be 3 double crochets. So I've got my end count, and now I've just completed, got wrapped around, I'm just completing the end. So I've got 3 double crochets, which is my half shell, and now I'm going to just go into that top of the cluster, which was that slip stitch, and make a single crochet, and then I would continue now down the row just doing my normal shell stitch. And like I said, in this one there were 5 double crochets, so I just go into that single crochet that was between my cluster and continue working down the row. And I continue along in my shell stitch until I've completed as many rows as I want, ending with a single crochet shell row. I can then change color. So as you can see from the sample, I'm still working on it, obviously. So what would be nice, you can see the ridges, and it's quite puffy. This one I've used it's a light yarn, but it's a very soft baby yarn. So I'm working with an H hook, but you could have worked a G hook with it. And it doesn't matter, you can use this stitch with any yarn, you'll just use the appropriate hook. But you can tell because I've used 7 double crochets, it's quite puffy on this. And then you can see with the cluster on the back, it really makes it stand up quite a bit. The other thing, as you can see, this was my flat edge, and I worked out in that direction doing my shell stitches, and then my chains with the cluster and changing colors using the cluster stitch. And now I'm working in this direction also, because I want the shell at each end of when I complete this baby blanket. I want a shell at each end, but it also makes it nice because the cluster stitch ridging, the decoration, is moving out in each direction also. If you would like free patterns, just go to free patterns at simpleandsensational.com.